Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation, Quest of Memories is a game about side quests. If you have ever wanted to play a game that is just side quest, well, you're in luck. They have done it. They have finally made a game of just side quest. For the steep price of $50, you can play as Rudius in what you have always wanted, a game of side quest. Why would they do this to us? I don't know. Let's go ahead and jump into the review. Now, the story for Mushoku Tensei, I actually really love. And to see a game come out for Mushoku Tensei, I was super stoked. However, it didn't meet any of the hype. They managed to take what is a great story and ruin it. They took things away from it and just made it to where it was the bare bones. Instead of having exciting stuff happen, it was just boring. Now, if you're not familiar with Mushoku Tensei, it involves a man who is 34, 35 and is a shut-in. When he finally leaves the house, he ends up getting in an accident and dying. When he comes back to life, he comes back to life, he is reincarnated as a baby in a new world filled with magic, swords, and diamonds. I don't know if there's diamonds there. There's probably diamonds, but he's in a new world and he gets to relive his life. The life that he never got to live, he finally gets to live it. And that's why I love Mushoku Tensei, because it's a really actually good story. However, they said, hold up, we have this great source material, let's peel it all back like an onion and just get the really boring parts and make it into a game. And here we have Quest for Memories. Now, the game takes place in Season 1, the second part of it. You are on the Demon Continent after a teleportation event separated Rudy and everybody in the world. On Rudy's quest to find everybody and recover family, I'm not going to spoil too much, he is in the Demon Continent. But in order to make money and do stuff, he's having to do quest at the Adventurers Guild. This is actually stuff from the anime. However, the stuff in the anime has some depth, some girth to it. Girth, I don't know if that's the right word, but it has some meat. And the game doesn't. The game doesn't have anything like that. It takes all the boring quests that you can think of, all the fetch quests, and it throws it into one thing. For an example, you accept a quest. It's like, hey, I need you to go get some oil. You go to the dungeon, you find the location for the oil, you get it, you go back to the Adventurers Guild, turn it in. The person now says, hey, I want some more oil. So you go back to a dungeon, get some oil, turn it in. And these are all the quests. Once in a while, you might get some sort of like bigger quest, but they're still pretty boring compared to the actual show. Also, they take things from the show and cut it to the bare bones. Stuff that are actually really cool scenes, like somebody getting cut in half, for an example. Instead of actually seeing it, it is just a word of, and then they were cut in half. And then you see a still image of blood. And it's like, okay, cool. Thanks for that, I guess. So the game just really takes away such a great story and makes it bare bones and boring. Now, I've already touched base on some of the gameplay with it being a game of fetch quest, but the gameplay is pretty bare bones as well. Now, I will say the actual combat, it's a turn-based RPG, so the actual combat is fun. You're actually having to battle people, and I feel like some of these enemies just, they hurt. They hit hard. So you're having to go through and be like, okay, well, that didn't work. Let me go back and figure out what I can do. So there's been multiple times I've died, and I can just retry the fight and try and figure out what I can do better. So the gameplay is probably the only redeeming quality of this game. Only the fights, though. There, for example, when you play as Roxy, there is a moment where you are working in a restaurant, and all you are literally doing is building the menu for the day and fast forwarding. That is it. Sometimes you have to press a button to clean up trash, or press a button to replenish food, but literally you are just fast forwarding. And that's what I feel like most of this game is. Something you want to fast forward through. There's nothing that really pulls you in and wants you to keep playing. And there are so many quality of life improvements that I feel like were no-brainers that they just didn't put in. Since this is a game where you are pressing up, down, left, right to defog the map, which, by the way, I hate games like this. I'm like, it just makes you kind of feel nauseated. I hate them. I don't know why this is coming back as a trend. This used to be something to cut corners and make games come out and make them look cool for RPGs, but it's not something that should come back. Stop this trend right now. But you're doing this, defogging this map, and you can't put like pins down. You can't be like, okay, this is the location I need to come back to in a little bit. Once again, ability, pin. Instead, you have to just remember it off the top of your head. Also, when you unlock skills, there's no way to go through and customize those skills to where it's like, okay, I'm using this one because everybody in this dungeon's weak against fire. Let me, instead of having to scroll through at the start of every battle to select a fire spell, let me move it up top because I'm going to be using it a lot. You're not doing anything like this. So instead, it's just all these quality of life improvements that I feel would have elevated this game to be a little bit better. They're just not there. I can't say I enjoyed my time with Mushoku Tensei, which is a real shame because I really, really like this anime. So much so that I immediately, without looking at any reviews, bought the game for $50. And it is not worth that much at all. I think maybe $10, or if the game was available on a deep sale, yeah, definitely get it. But it is going to get very boring for you very, very quick. And I think the only reason I kept playing it is because I do like the source material so much. However, with the bestiary, for example, every single enemy looks the exact same. They're reskins. There might be 10 to 15 enemies, 150 in total on the bestiary, but they are just reskins of those 15 enemies. For example, like there's just so many things wrong with this game, and it's so hard for me to suggest it, especially if somebody's a fan of the source material. I would give Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation, Quest for Memories a 5 out of 10. Unfortunately, this game ain't it. The Platinum's pretty easy as well. I haven't got the Platinum yet, but I'm working on it, so that's why this isn't a Platinum review. But if you guys do have any questions about the trophies, any questions about any of the quests, or the game in general, let me know in the comments down below. I'll answer it the best I can. This has been Chris with Platinum Reviews. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more Platinum Reviews goodness. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next video, and as always, keep getting those trophies.